to CryptoStack. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing KuCoin, which is a cryptocurrency exchange that has launched in 2017, where you have the ability to trade, earn, and obviously to buy cryptocurrency. Now, this video is perfect for those that has never used KuCoin and obviously are thinking about using this exchange. So we're going to dive in further in this specific video. We're going to look at their interface, the different product, the simplicity, and the different benefits of using KuCoin. So stay tuned and let's dive in. So usually you'll see a nice banner or some information about different competition or tournament. As you can see here, there's always different incentive they will give to their users, to obviously people that are into trading or people that have a specific coin will be able to obviously to participate, obviously based on your trading volume. And then you have a nice short snap of basically the top trading coin, new coin, and top gainer, for example. And then you obviously hear some more generic information about the platform, this exchange. So basically they have more than 500 coins available on this exchange. They have been trading over $600 billion, which is a lot. They have over 10 million user on the platform, and they are big. So you obviously are able to trade on multiple devices. If you have an iPhone, if you have an Android, for example, this is extremely cool, and this is something that is super important. So if you're a newcomer and you're looking to trade, the first thing you should look at is how many users are using this platform, how many years have they been around, and is there enough liquidity. So I can tell you right now, we just confirmed this. So now let's dive into their interface. If you guys are new to the cryptocurrency and you don't have any cryptocurrency and you want to buy cryptocurrency, you actually have two ways to do it. Option number one is obviously to use your credit card or debit card. So basically swiping, typing your those numbers, and obviously deciding how much money you want to use from your cards. And basically you're going to be charged on your credit card, and then in exchange you're going to be getting your cryptocurrency. You might be looking to buy some Bitcoin or some Ethereum or any other altcoin. That's option number one. Option number two is actually the ability to do wire transfer. So you obviously, if you're based in Europe, you have the ability to do SEPA. So basically it's a local way for European people to send money, which usually the money will arrive within 2 hours. So if you send the money in the morning, the money will be there by the afternoon. So it's kind of fast. Or if you don't live in Europe, you're obviously looking to do a wire transfer, you obviously have the option to do wire transfer. As well, international one that will be also possible. Now, for the third party, is usually they want to pay only in their own currency. So let's say you're based in South Africa. Let's say you want to pay only in Swedish krona. Usually, the third party will give you that option. Now, saying that you might be paying in your own native currency, but you'll be also exposed to some additional fees. So the thumb up rule is to always, if you can, just do wire transfer just to avoid those fees, and then maybe look at comparing which option is simple or cheaper. Is it third party or fast rate? Now, once you actually acquire the cryptocurrency you actually want to acquire, you obviously have the ability to obviously buy more or to exchange or even trade. So if you're looking to basically exchange, so you click here on spot, and you can obviously exchange your cryptocurrency. Let's say you bought Bitcoin, and right now Bitcoin is going down. It's like 37,900, for example, and you think Bitcoin can go further down. You can obviously convert it to USDT and obviously buy at a lower price if that's your strategy. Now, if you don't have, let's say, Bitcoin, you have any other coin, you can obviously convert it to, let's say, Bitcoin to Ethereum or anything else. All right, so obviously here you can see it's actually classified kind of nicely, so you have the ability to trade on anything related to USD. So basically any stablecoin. If you have Bitcoin, if you have Qcoin shares, this is like their own token, altcoin, DeFi, NFT, and Metaverse, and obviously anything related to Polkadot. So that can really help you to save you some time and make your trading experience much better. Now, if you're into trading and obviously taking those risks, so basically you like to leverage your position, obviously to maximize any market volatility, then you should definitely look at the future. Now, the future, we obviously can see here, you have Bitcoin, perpetual, and USDT. So let's just go over here and just show you what you need to look at when you're looking to trade on future. So initially, again, this account has no balance. I just created this account just to illustrate how this exchange works. So you obviously have the option to change the leverage according to your risk appetite. Please bear in mind that the higher the leverage is, the more risky it will become. So obviously they even put a nice note to tell you what will happen if the market were to move by 1.3%. You're literally going to lose everything. So that's nice of them. So obviously if it go around 100%, basically 97, literally if the market move by 1%, you obviously will lose everything. So please bear that in mind. Okay. Now this is when it comes to trading with future, for example. Another thing you need to obviously consider is the following. So you have here something called funding rate. Funding rate is a recurring fee that exchanges charge you for holding your trade position for longer than a specific time. So some places charge every 1 hour, some places charge every 4 hours. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you can charge for every 4 hours. There is a funding rate which changes based on the consensus. So if, for example, the majority of the traders are literally all buying, so basically are going long, you're going to see a positive funding rate. If the funding rate is negative, as you can see right now, basically going to see it means that the majority of the users on the exchange are shorting Bitcoin. Which means if you decide to short Bitcoin, you're going to be paying this amount of fee for every round of cycle. Now, if, for example, you decide to go against the current consensus or against the majority, you actually will be getting, instead of paying fee, you'll be getting the fee. So this is actually kind of cool. And again, obviously do not base your trading strategy based on that. Always tell people you should use as little or as low leverage as possible, because the market can be crazy sometimes. There's a lot of something called like flash crash, where the market or the instrument might go down by 10% in just 1 second. So please be careful when you're actually looking at trading with leverage. Unique feature that Qcoin Exchange have is the trading bot. Now, according to today, so far there's over 6.3 million different bots that have been created on Qcoin. Basically, different people that maybe have some experience and some people do not have some experience came here and created a bot or an automated strategy that will continue trading as long as the strategy and the parameter are met. Basically, instead of you trying to allocate 5 minutes to 1 hour, 2 hours of your time, as long that the market condition are met and it's along with your strategy, your trade will be executed, which is amazing. Now you obviously have different type of strategies. Some of them are more for spot trading, so basically without any leverage. You obviously have some related to futures, so obviously that will be leverage. And then obviously you have some people who are for more like casual, so let's say you own multiple different altcoins on your on your wallet, and obviously you see there's a different shift in the market, but you haven't realized that, for example, Solana has been gaining quite a lot compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum. So this is basically a possible a way of looking at smart rebalance. You obviously have the DCA, so make profit from regular investments. So basically constantly buying cryptocurrency. This stands for dollar cost average. Then you have something called infinity grid. So basically bullish volatility killer. So basically whenever there is a crazy bull market, this in theory is supposed to take the most advantage of the market sentiment and market volatility. Now on your right, you're going to be able to see the top gainer for that specific day, and obviously you're going to be able to see it for that specific pair. So the number one gainer for today, it's a guy by star 6100, and he made 16,335 on this pair called Onstone USDT. And then you have the other number 2, number 3, they made 12,000% gain on ACT and Bitcoin. So you know what, just for the sake of it, let's try to understand what happened over the last 24 hours or the last week with those two pairs. So let's go to, so we need to look for ACT. So let's try to understand what happened with ACT. So let's go here. So let's search ACT. So I'm very curious person. I actually want to see if there was any particular sharp movement. Was this coin recently added to the exchange? Just to understand how come those bots were able to generate such crazy gain. Okay, so just bear with me. Okay, all right, so you can see that on the 12th of October there was a crazy rally. Okay, so I think that was at least 10x or so, maybe, I'm not so sure. So the price here was, let's see, 11.1158. So from what I can see here, there was like a 3x or 4x return, a big spike. So that will explain the reason why whoever has been trading on this specific pair was able to trade and make this crazy return. I'm also suspecting they also use some leverage. So now let's look at another pair. Let's look at the other one. They memorize them. All right, so from what I can see, this is a new coin that got listed. You obviously have a note saying it's new. So let's see how much this coin has risen when it got listed. Okay, so as you can see here, this coin had a over 90% drop. So from what I can see, at the peak it was at 55 cents, and now it's at 0.06. So this is more than 90% drop. I think even 97-98% drop. So I'm guessing maybe the person has shorted it, maybe they have bought here and obviously exited, but regardless, this person was able to take advantage with their bot of this market volatility and made those gain. So I am more comfortable in obviously finding someone that has a good track record, and obviously just for the sake of it, allocate a small amount of money. So obviously you have multiple bots that are available for you guys. So basically you have the following. So you have bot, you can select, and obviously if you have anything that is live, it will appear here on the running, and obviously you can see your profit. So this is their bot, which is kind of cool, kind of amazing in a certain way. It's kind of crazy. You can actually see those crazy gain. Again, I think those gains are possible on coin that got recently listed, because there's gonna be some crazy volatility. So this is kind of amazing. So this is something that will definitely be one of the reasons why I will consider registering and opening an account with KuCoin. You can obviously create your own bot, or you can obviously follow an existing bot. Alright, so let's go back now to the main page. So now that we cover how you're able to buy cryptocurrency and how you're obviously able to trade cryptocurrency. Alright, you can obviously click here. So you obviously have multiple option. You have also something called Future Classic, Future Light, Future Bros, and basically leverage token. So I want to explain to you about what leverage token is. Basically, instead of you deciding to go and select a leverage, you actually have this mechanism where the token that you're trading, let's say you want to trade on, let's see here. So for example, here you have this Solana, for example, which is long. Let's say you're extremely bullish on Solana, and obviously instead of you opening manually a trade on Solana with leverage 3, you obviously have the option to just basically trade on a token that already has a system, it's already leveraged. So if the market were to move by 10%, you obviously will gain, in this case, you'll be earning 30% because it's multiplied 3 times the move. All right, so bear that in mind. Right, this is kind of cool. You obviously have multiple coin that have this system, and again, I don't necessarily recommend this, but if this is something that you guys might find it much more easier, you obviously have this option. All right, so obviously you have something called also margin trading. So margin trading, the way I actually will describe it is you are using your current balance in order to borrow more, but usually you're borrowing in that currency that you have. So whenever you're using leverage, usually we'll have USDT in your account, or in some cases Bitcoin, and it's literally always the amount is in USDT. But whenever you're doing margin trading, you can obviously borrow also the actual coin. So obviously it's a bit more tricky, but some people do like to trade with margin. Margin trading, the leverage is restricted. I think the highest that I've seen is leverage 10. So that's something for you guys to consider. Now that I cover everything related to trading, obviously want to show you something else. So there's obviously the notion of earning cryptocurrency. So obviously you have the ability to lend. So if you decide to lend your cryptocurrency, you can obviously earn some cryptocurrency, and obviously you can obviously earn by just going to KuCoin Earn. So let's just go to KuCoin Earn. All right, so basically you have different packages of different product where you can obviously allocate your available cryptocurrency to one of those products, and you'll get the following interest rate. So if you notice, most of those interest rates are for a short period of time. In some cases 7 days, some cases 2 days, some cases is 3 days. So you can obviously filter it by based on the highest interest rate for, and obviously you can look for the shortest period of time. I think it's nice. I'm not sure staking my USDT for 7 days when you literally have 6.8% interest per year is not really interesting in my opinion. Okay, obviously if I decide to stake, obviously I'll stake it for a long term, or I would like to know what is the return in a month, for example. So I'd like to see maybe in a month 1% if possible, compared to having 6.8%, which is the rate I always calculate based on a year. So just please remember that even though it said the redemption period is for 7 days, 3 days, the return is actually for a year. So if the return is per year, they'll divide it by the time you have allocated to that specific earn token. All right, so this is, so we cover ability for you guys to trade, sorry, ability for you guys to buy cryptocurrency, exchange it and trade cryptocurrency, either if it's on spot, margin trading, or future, for example. And if you are more in a passive person and you are holding a substantial amount of cryptocurrency, you can obviously allocate your cryptocurrency and obviously earn some cryptocurrency. Now, I'm not a big fan of their KuCoin earning scheme because I don't like the fact that it's for shorter period of time. So that me personally, some people would like to just, let's say you overtrade for the past 5 months and now you go on vacation. You don't want to just have your monies there. You would like to earn some interest on it. And again, even if you have $100,000, and if I look at the rate you're getting, it's not gonna make a substantial difference. But again, you never know. So these are your basically the review of KuCoin. Very simple. This is the account. You have the setting, basically trading fees, account security, KYC verification. Now I just want to obviously highlight the KYC verification. So just for you to understand, in order for you to trade and basically have no restriction, you also need to do KYC. So KYC means you need to upload your proof of identity. So if you are individual, basically like me and you're doing it under your private name, so you'll fall under this category. You can withdraw up to 1 Bitcoin. You can trade with leverage up to 100. You can have a daily trading limit to basically convert fiat to crypto. It's $1,400. All right. Now, if you're an institutional or you have a company, for example, you can obviously withdraw up to 500 Bitcoin. You have the same leverage, and you can obviously have a daily trading limit of 70,000 USDT. All right. So this is it. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Until next time, bye bye.